Right. So let's get it going. Yes, Tom. How are we, mate? We okay? Gang. Um, Let me just post a message into the Telegram group, just letting them know that we have started. Mm-mm-mm. What beautiful. We come forward. Bam. Right, so let's just get started. No fundamentals today. Obviously, we went through the pre-market update on Sunday, so that had all the information in terms of what's coming up this week in terms of fundamentals on there. So we're just going to keep this to the technical analysis. Just going to go over what's happened in the last 2 days from Monday till now. It's not going to be majorly long. It's just an update as to kind of what's happening. We'll give you guys a little bit of a chance at the end to ask if we can do any TA on any crypto that you're kind of looking at, and the chance to ask any questions on anything really. So let's start from top to bottom, I guess. Okay. Prices, again, well, in terms of volume is still extremely low. Obviously, we're only at the start of the week. So this whole move down is quite sluggish at the moment. So there is a lot of buying pressure at this level over here. So this is a key level on the chart. So there's going to be quite a lot of buying pressure. So obviously we're going to have to see volume kind of come in fast and hard to really break this level. If we get a test of this level, right, so let's go. So for instance, we're at the 618 right now, right? From this bottom to this top. So naturally we're already seeing some support at this level, right? Ideally, so prices could even pull down to 786, find enough support and momentum to really push the price all the way back up to this level over here, right? So a break beneath 40k should give us kind of that break in price to actually take prices all the way down to 38 and then below. Obviously 38k is our first line of defense in terms of support after 40k. As things stand, obviously we're finding a bit of support on the 618. However, we aren't seeing any buying pressure whatsoever. We're actually seeing increased sell side volume, so we should see a break. So we'll see how price reacts to this 786 and then go from there. Again, so we're seeing a little bit of spikes up in volume, but very, very minor. Obviously, each time it comes down, kind of the balls are cleared in trying to push prices back up, but as you can see, we continue to move down. So they're actually weakening each time that they try and push prices all the way back up. In terms of, let's have a little look. So this whole move, there's no volume whatsoever. Accumulation was okay actually on this move up. However, obviously distribution was a bit less. Still pushing down, and accumulations obviously dipped down as well. So if we have a little look over on, so in terms of Bitcoin shorts, we are up nearly 4%. I think we were up something like 13% this morning from the last 7 days in terms of shorts. Bitcoin longs were relatively unchanged, but again, as you can see, we're actually falling down. So Bitcoin longs are 31,800 roughly. Bitcoin shorts at 2,800. So a smaller percentage move in the on the longs chart basically equals more of the overall pot. So naturally we are going to see increased percentages in the shorts, but the point to be taken obviously is the fact that Bitcoin longs are either falling or they're not changing at all, whereas Bitcoin shorts are picking up and picking up. So sentiment is changing without a doubt, but obviously there is a lot of mixed emotion in the market currently, so you're naturally going to get that stagnation, especially being at such a key sort of support point on the chart. So the bulls are going to naturally try and hold on to this level as much as possible. Once it's broken, then obviously the liquidations and the stop outs will just start to skyrocket, and it's going to just be a simple domino effect, just rolling through those orders and stopping people out, liquidating those people out, where then the momentum really does pick up, and reaching 32 and 30 will come within a very short space of time. So Bitcoin dominance is actually pushing up, which is great. So that's why you're kind of seeing these altcoins sort of stagnate as well and start to follow trend. Obviously, we do have some altcoins that are still absolutely blowing through the roof. But overall, especially towards the end of today's session, you've seen these altcoins kind of start to slow down and follow the same route as the rest of the market. DXY is pushing up again, just like we said, to that bottom of the range. It's exactly what happened. Hence why we're actually seeing the continuation of bleeding in terms of the crypto market. So we are obviously at resistance, and quite strong resistance now, so we could see a little bit of a pullback. So in terms of reorganizing kind of what's happening, so if we go over to here, so we got the 0.5, and then let's take this out, we don't need this. Right, so we're already at resistance, okay? We are at a good order block. We can even finesse this down all the way down to this very small order block here, which you can clearly see priced actually overshot the 100 moving average and actually tapped into that liquidity, which is great, okay? So we could see a pullback. If we actually go down and try and find, so we are either going to pull back to this level here and confirm this as new support and continue up. So we're either coming down here, confirming this as support and pulling up, or we're going to make a slightly deeper test and then pull up as well. Okay. But that's that natural trend that we should be seeing and should be looking for. This is quite likely, as clearly you can see that prices tapped, broke out, tapped the support, came back down. So we could actually see some sort of support around this on the top of this 200 moving average. That's what we'll be looking at anyway. So it would be great to find support at this level here, confirm this level as new support, and then that will give kind of the signal that prices will just want to come up all the way up and past this order block and into this larger one at the top. That would be great, especially for shorters in the crypto market. You'll just see investment leaking out of the crypto and being put into the US dollar as a sort of hedge against what's happening in the crypto market. So, or you will also see something like we've been seeing over on ADA, for instance, another crypto that are kind of being used as hedges against the sell-off in the overall market. But obviously, as we kind of move, for instance, ADA, it was due to the new introduction of, well, it was basically run on fundamentals in terms of having the first Sunday, the DeFi platform running on the Cardano blockchain called Sunday Swap. So obviously that's quite big news. Hence, kind of seeing the attraction of investment and pushing up, and hence seeing that huge amount of volume that's come in. If you even go on the daily and track back, it's hitting highs with the same sort of volume highs as when it was in a bull run. So it's quite big news, and obviously investors have got in. However, obviously it's pulled back quite a bit over the last week, I think, or even the last month. I think it was up 30% from bottom to top, which is massive considering the majority of the market has been pushing lower. So we've gone over kind of what's happening. We'll kind of tap back into Bitcoin. Obviously, we're at the 618, naturally going to find some support here. However, we're not seeing a pickup in volume at the 618 level, which we actually should be seeing realistically, especially not seeing no increase in buy volume, meaning that obviously there's not a lot of buyers at that 618 level, which is obviously an important level in terms of kind of finding a rebound and going back to the buy side. Sorry. So likelihood continue falling down. There is more support just here. So if we finesse it down a little bit, so as you can see between here and here there's volume. Let's see if we can go down a bit more. Yeah, so we actually could see quite an easier break through this past level here. As you can see, the majority of the concentration of the volume is just here, with a little bit of a spike. There is some volume underneath. Obviously it's not as much as this. There's a lot of concentration of volume at that 618, so we could actually see something like come down, we'll see a bounce, test this 618 and then drop down. So if we actually get a test of this 618 from the bottom side, and sort of volume increases, but it fails to break, and we actually get a wick to the top side Okay, that is a very good entry and a very good indication that things will drop down very fast and quick. Okay, this is clearly a strong level. Okay, and if price fails to break to the top side, all right, then the chances and probabilities of it actually testing 40k to breaking 40k becomes more likely. So let's have a little look. That's kind of about it from us on the overall market. It's just a top up, really. Obviously, we are overall, we are short on the market. We've obviously placed short trades, and they are doing very well. There is a couple that have gone green. However, they'll follow suit as soon as we get a more than expected sort of drop. So it's just about being patient and waiting for this break of this major key level on Bitcoin. Once we get that, the whole market will follow suit. So yeah, it's been a very kind of mixed emotion week. It's been hard to kind of keep it sane, but obviously that's what we kind of need to refrain from feeding into. So stay patient, just keep on looking at the TA after each kind of session or major sessions are closed, and obviously before, and just kind of gauge what's happening in price action, kind of look for those signs that are indicating either a switch up in sentiment or strengthening or weakening. Just kind of keep on improvising and building that overall image so that you have a better picture and understanding as to what is happening. So apart from that, that is kind of the overall market. So like we said, we'll kind of give you guys a little bit of time. So just in the comment section, either just ask if you've got any questions. If not, send us some coins that you're interested in looking at in terms of TA, and we'll kind of go over them. Just give our opinion on them as well as our TA. You can even see on this chart here where prices came down, tapped into some extra liquidity at this level over here, tried to push all the way back up and actually held this level of support here, continuing with bearish movement, trying to break back up again, failing, almost got a little bit of a head and shoulders here, pushed back down, tapped into some extra liquidity just below, pushed up, held this level of support here. So held this level of support 1, held the level of support 2, okay, and actually currently almost holding this level as well. So as you can see, price came down, tested, held, came down, tested this second one. So I came down and now tested and wicked at this level of support here. So we'll see how price reacts, especially at this level. But again, it's quite messy in terms of structure. You could even call this level here as resistance as well. So we'll see how things kind of react. But yeah, still following a bearish sort of sentiment. Could very easily break down hard, meaning that the rest of the market will continue sort of kind of bleeding. Right, we'll go over to be fair, let's go over I wanted to touch on right, go over BNB as one of the premium snipers actually asked about BNB. However, we actually posted all of the charts that it allows us to. So let's go. We'll do a BNB. Okay. So quite clearly we're holding this line of structure. So major key trend line from bottom till top. Obviously this is the trend line that it's conforming to from the all-time high, or the most recent all-time high, to the major lower low, finding obviously support at this trend line with minimal sort of reaction to it. So giving us the indication that that trend line is now weakened, right? Volume, there is no volume on this move down. So again, there is a little bit of kind of thought of what's actually happening in this move. So as you can clearly see, there's accumulation happening all throughout this move down, okay, especially on the daily, with very, distribution all the way from even back here on this second sort of attempt at that all-time high. So with very little accumulation back here. So what is that telling you? That is telling you that the institutions have fully distributed their orders, or their long orders, from all the way back here. Can you see where they accumulated all the way? They were accumulating, exploded up, distributed already, accumulated a little bit more, distributed, accumulated down here, okay, and went through quite a large phase of distribution from last July to all the way to last September. So a few months of distribution, a little bit of accumulation, pushing them prices back up, and completely distributed the rest of their assets all throughout. So that period lasted for a long time. Okay. So overall, it's not looking great. In terms of the 4 hour, okay, so we've got order block that's currently testing, so we could see a little bit of a spike up. We're actually seeing an increase of volume, especially on this move here. Increased, which is good in terms of making this breakdown here. Okay, got huge amounts of distribution on both of those attempts to push up and break. And now we're getting actually a decent amount of accumulation, but not on the same size whatsoever. So order block, you can actually break this down a little bit smaller. Okay, that is resistance. We've got some more resistance here. In fact, let's break that down even more. We'll put this resistance here, but we'll break this down. So we've got resistance there. Prices try and attempt to tap that trend line at the top. Obviously, that is your next order block. That is closest to it. So yeah, so we got this level just here as well. So it's worth popping that one in as support. Could find support, push up here, test this level here as resistance, and then just fully break the trend line. So a lot of these crypto are kind of following that sort of same path. Push down lower, push back up, test as new what past support was as new resistance, reject that, gain that momentum and that extra kick that is needed to make these huge breaks in prices. So again, guys, we are very much bearish in this market, at least for the meantime, until Bitcoin does find enough support. So yeah, we'll see how prices react, obviously, at this 40k level. If it's able to stick to it enough times and gain that volume and accumulation at those levels there, then we should see a good push. But there is no accumulation, no accumulation whatsoever. This is just a tiny bit coming in right now. So quite huge amounts of distribution. But again, just from this, yeah, that is mixed emotion right there. So bulls are trying to hold this level. However, the shorters are trying to obviously break it. So there's a lot of interest at this level here. Just depends whether the sellers are able to break it. But obviously, as things stand, sellers are pushing up higher and higher each day, whilst the sellers are actually falling and falling. So it's just about being patient and waiting for that switch up until that sort of investment in terms of the shorters kind of comes into play and takes over those bulls and makes that extra push, breaks through those levels, liquidates, and then starts that whole motion, that whole domino effect that just basically makes price tumble after. But yeah, right, so gone over BNB. Yeah, if no one wants any sort of TA done on anything else, amazing. If you guys got any questions, ask them. So we'll leave it for 2 minutes. No questions, no TA wanted. We'll just cut it off here. Like we said, it's keeping it short. It's just a top up, not normally on the pre-market and kind of what's happened in the last 2 days. Normally Thursdays, kind of live streams a bit longer because obviously we can discuss a lot more as to kind of what's happened during the week. There's a lot more price action to kind of go off. This one's just a little top up, just to guide you along that route for the next 2 days until the end of the week, obviously. Right, nothing. Okay, amazing, guys. Thank you for listening. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help us out a lot. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow morning for some TradingView updates on all the price action that's happened over now and the morning. Take care.